Your daily money affirmation might be rewiring your brain to stay broke. Alex, 41, sales manager in Charlotte, North Carolina, played the same abundance meditation every single morning. Eyes closed. Deep breath. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. He said it for 3 years straight. Never missed a day. And in those 3 years, his credit card debt climbed from $8,000 to $22,000. Not because he earned less. His income actually went up. Because every time he repeated, "I am wealthy," his brain quietly gave him permission to spend like he already was. A 2009 study from the University of Waterloo discovered something about positive self-statements that the entire abundance industry has been ignoring. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what those affirmations are doing to your prefrontal cortex. And the one protocol neuroscientists say actually works. Here is a number that should bother you. Americans spend an estimated $2 billion a year on manifestation courses, abundance journals, and money mindset programs. And the average American household still carries over $7,900 in credit card debt. According to the Federal Reserve's latest survey of consumer finances, something is not adding up. This video is not about whether abundance is real or fake. This is about money psychology, about what happens inside your neural circuitry when you repeat financial affirmations, and why the science shows a specific, measurable gap between feeling wealthy and building wealth. I call it the Affirmation Paradox. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The paradox works in 3 stages. Each one exploits a different part of your brain. Each one feels good in the moment, and each one quietly moves you further from the financial life you actually want. Ever wonder why you feel so calm and optimistic during a money meditation, but so anxious when you open your banking app 3 hours later? That is not a coincidence. That is your ventral striatum. Your brain's reward center does not distinguish between achieving something and vividly imagining you have already achieved it. When you repeat, "Money flows to me easily," your ventral striatum releases dopamine, the same neurochemical you get from a bonus at work or finding a $20 bill in your coat pocket. Research from New York University psychologist Gabriele Oettingen found that participants who simply visualized positive outcomes showed lower systolic blood pressure. Their bodies physically relaxed, as though the goal was already accomplished. Sounds great, right? Except here is the problem. That dopamine hit is a loan. Your brain is paying you a reward you have not earned yet. And when your brain has already collected the emotional payoff of being wealthy, it loses the neurological urgency to do the hard, boring things that actually build wealth. Budgeting, negotiating a raise, sitting with the discomfort of saying no to a purchase. Alex felt this every single day. 6 in the morning. I am abundant. I am prosperous. By 8 at night, he is adding a $240 ergonomic desk chair to his Amazon cart. Not because he needed it, because his brain had already filed him under wealthy person. And wealthy people do not agonize over desk chairs. That is stage 1. Your brain borrows tomorrow's reward and spends it today. But here is the counterintuitive part. Oettingen's research showed that the more vividly people fantasized about success, the less energy they invested in achieving it. Spending psychology tells us this is not a willpower problem. It is an architecture problem. Your affirmation is building the wrong neural pathway, but the dopamine loan is only the beginning. What happens next is where the real financial damage starts. And it involves a concept behavioral economists call mental accounting. Nobel laureate Richard Thaler documented how the brain does not treat all money equally. We create invisible mental buckets: rent money, fun money, emergency money, and we make spending decisions based on which bucket we have assigned the dollar to, not on our actual financial picture. Here is where abundance affirmations become dangerous. When you spend 20 minutes every morning telling yourself, "I am wealthy, I deserve prosperity, abundance is my birthright," your brain does not just feel good. It reclassifies your financial identity. You shift from the careful spender bucket to the abundant person bucket. And abundant people, they do not comparison shop. They do not clip coupons.
Thank you. Have a great day.
They do not check their balance before tapping their card at Whole Foods. Think about Alex's wife, Karen, 43, project manager. She noticed it before he did. Every Sunday, Alex would come back from Costco with $300 of things they did not need. Protein bars they would never eat, a patio heater in April, a second air fryer. When she asked why, his answer was always some version of the same thing. We deserve nice things. The universe provides. That was not Alex being irresponsible. That was his prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for impulse control and future planning, receiving a weakened signal. The affirmation had already told his brain the financial future was handled. So the internal alarm system that normally fires when you overspend, it went quiet. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that people primed with self-affirming statements were significantly more likely to make impulsive purchases afterward. The affirmation did not make them richer. It made them less careful. Alex was about to discover this the hard way. But first, he found something on his therapist's bookshelf that changed everything. If you have ever felt a strange wave of guilt right after buying something, minutes after telling yourself you deserve abundance, that is not hypocrisy. That is cognitive dissonance. And it is the most dangerous stage of the affirmation paradox. Here is the trap. Your identity says, "I am wealthy." Your bank statement says otherwise. Two contradictory beliefs living in the same brain, and your brain hates contradiction more than it hates debt. So how does it resolve the conflict? Not by changing your spending, by doubling down on the affirmation. More meditation, more journaling, more repeating, "I release all resistance to prosperity." The brain treats the discomfort of reality as the problem, not the overspending. This creates what psychologists call a closed feedback loop. More debt triggers more dissonance. More dissonance triggers more affirmation. More affirmation triggers more permission to spend. Round and round. Consider this. Robert and Diane, both 52, empty nesters in Scottsdale. After their youngest left for college, they started a couples manifestation practice. Vision boards,
to remember that feeling this
daily
year.
abundance scripts. Within 18 months, they pulled $45,000 from a home equity line of credit to remodel their kitchen. Because, as Robert put it, we are calling in the life we deserve. 2 years later, their home value dropped. The credit line was underwater, and they were $38,000 further from their retirement target. The affirmation did not lead to them. Their brains just processed it in a way that made financial risk feel like spiritual alignment. According to the American Psychological Association's Stress in America survey, 65% of Americans report money as a significant source of stress. The irony? Many of them are listening to affirmations designed to reduce that stress, while the cognitive bias those affirmations create is quietly making the stress worse. Remember Alex's $22,000 credit card balance? Here is what happened next.
I can pay this off.
His therapist did not tell him to stop believing in abundance. She handed him a book by Gabriele Oettingen called Rethinking Positive Thinking. And inside was a protocol that changed everything. It is called mental contrasting. And it is the missing piece that turns money psychology from a feel-good loop into actual behavioral change. Here is how it works. Instead of just visualizing the outcome, I am debt-free. I am wealthy. You add a second step. You identify the specific internal obstacle standing between you and that outcome. Not an external obstacle. An internal one. A trigger. A pattern. Alex's version looked like this. Morning affirmation. I want financial freedom. Mental contrast. My biggest obstacle is that I open Amazon when I am stressed after work, and I buy things to feel the dopamine hit I got from my morning meditation. That second sentence does something the affirmation alone cannot. It activates the prefrontal cortex, the planning, strategizing, future-oriented part of the brain that pure visualization puts to sleep. Oettingen's research across multiple studies found that participants who used mental contrasting invested more effort, achieved more goals, and, critically, were better at disengaging from unrealistic goals than those who used positive visualization alone. Alex did not quit affirmations.
Yeah, you did.
He rewired
I'm
them.
changing this.
He paired every positive statement with one honest assessment of what his brain was actually doing when he spent. Forget everything the manifestation industry told you about removing resistance. In behavioral economics, some resistance is exactly what your prefrontal cortex needs. The goal is not to feel no friction around money. The goal is to feel the right friction at the right moment, so your brain makes a decision your future self will thank you for. 6 months after starting mental contrasting, Alex's credit card balance was down to $14,000. Not because he earned more, because he finally gave his brain the second signal it needed. Tonight, before you listen to your next abundance, affirmation or money meditation, try this. Write down the one financial behavior you want to change. Then write down the internal trigger that keeps pulling you back to that behavior. Tape it next to wherever you do your morning practice. That is your mental contrast. One sentence that wakes up the part of your brain the affirmation puts to sleep. Send this to someone who listens to money affirmations every morning, but still feels stuck financially. Not to prove them wrong, but because they deserve to know what their brain is actually doing with those words. In the next video, I will break down the 5 cognitive biases that make you overpay for everything, from your morning coffee to your monthly subscriptions, and the exact mental trick behavioral economists use to neutralize each one. Your wallet has been leaking in places you have never thought to look.